What do you feel about socialism? Mamdani calls himself a socialist. What do you like better, capitalism or socialism, if you had to pick?
That's tough because I study business.
So you know how the economy really works.
A little bit, I would say.
What do you think is going to happen to the rents for the other 75% of New Yorkers with apartments?
Well, I do not understand a lot about the economics of it all.
One of the things he says he wants to do is keep ICE out of New York City and keep New York a sanctuary city. Is that a good thing, you think?
I think that's fair, yes. I support that.
How many illegal immigrants would you like to come to New York City if that's the case?
I don't have a specific number, no.
He thinks he can go around with a microphone and yell his fucking opinion at everybody as if he can actually have a goddamn opinion when he doesn't live here.
Well, I didn't do any of that. I'm here to talk to New Yorkers and see what their opinion is, which is what I'm doing with you. Is that okay?
It feels like it's just very, let me get a bunch of liberal people mad on camera so I can say, like, liberal owned or whatever.
Well, okay, but what did I say to get you mad? Hey guys, this is Matt Miller with PolitiBrawl. Today I'm here in New York City asking people, do they support Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani's sanctuary city policies and his promise to keep ICE out of the city? Also, be sure to pick up our new Communism Kills t-shirt at the PolitiBrawl merch store. I'll link in the description to that. Check it out. We have Zohran Mamdani, Commie Mamdani, as Trump calls him. Communism kills. Over 100 million in the last century alone. This is a dangerous, dangerous ideology that's getting very popular among young New Yorkers and young people all across America. So make sure to pick up the shirt and show that you support anti-communism. Let's go talk to some folks. Zohran Mamdani?
Yes.
Why do you support him?
I like what he stands for, and I think he's all about like inclusivity and making New York a better place for us to live in.
One of the things he says he wants to do is keep New York a sanctuary city, and he wants to keep ICE agents out. Do you support that?
I do support that. Well, I'm Hispanic, so I'm definitely for...
Me too, by the way.
Yes, I love that. But yeah, I agree with that.
So if he does that, how many illegal immigrants would you like to see come to New York?
I wouldn't say that there's a number. I don't really care, if I'm honest, about like who comes to New York. I just think people are here to kind of like look for a better life and work, so.
Well, if undocumented people come here because they're going to be safe from deportation here and there won't be ICE agents, if a lot of them come, what do you think that'll do to like cost, like housing costs or other costs of living in the city?
I mean, the price of living in New York is definitely really high, so I don't think it would really be a great situation. I don't know how prices would be affected, honestly, by like a surge of like new like immigrants coming in. I'm not sure.
Well, the demand for housing would go up, so the prices would go up.
That's not good, I guess.
Well, that could be one of the downsides. You know, if a bunch of people who come to the city, we don't know who they are, they're unvetted, and ICE isn't allowed to enforce our immigration law, maybe that could be a safety concern, do you think?
I don't think that's valid because I don't think that that's what ICE's mission is, to vet people. I just think they want to get rid of anybody that they racially profile, so, or like that they profile as being Hispanic. I don't think that that's what they're doing.
Mayor Eric Adams spent $6 billion on migrant shelters in the city for undocumented migrants that were here. So it's also, that's another cost for the taxpayers. It could cost the taxpayer a lot if millions of people come. Have you thought about maybe the second order effects at all?
I definitely thought about it, but I kind of just looked at the other candidates and didn't like them.
What do you think about Zohran Mamdani?
He'll disappoint us like every other politician. We can't vote our way out of the extinction. We have to rise up. We need to rebel. Extinction Rebellion. We must rebel to survive.
He says he wants to keep ICE out of the city and keep New York a sanctuary city. Do you support that? You think that'll be a good thing?
Good luck. Good luck.
What do you think's going to happen? Is Trump not going to let him do that?
I don't know, We can't vote our way out of this shit.
What does this one mean here? It says betray your parents. Al, do you want to get a shot of that? What does that mean?
What was your question?
What does that sticker mean, betray your parents? What does that mean?
Betray your parents, yeah.
Is that...
It's about rebellion. We must rebel to survive.
Should people love their parents? Or should they betray their parents? That's an interesting sticker, but Okay.
There's a lot of interesting stickers there.
Yeah, I'd love to talk more about them, but
Save the planet. We're Extinction Rebellion.
all right, have a great day. One of the things he says he wants to do is keep ICE out of New York City and keep New York a sanctuary city. Is that a good thing, you think?
I think that's fair, yes. I support that.
How many illegal immigrants would you like to come to New York City if that's the case?
I don't have a specific number, no.
But you're okay with anybody or however many want to come?
Well, I don't think criminals should pull out now. I don't think a serial killer should come here. What's your perspective? Do you guys think, say no to sanctuary cities?
Yeah, I think immigration law is very important.
Yeah.
I think that we have to enforce our immigration laws, yeah. It's important for safety. It's important for also keeping down costs, too. What do you think is going to happen if 1 million undocumented people come to New York City and they need housing, they need food? It drives up costs.
They work for it now.
For housing?
Do you think the government provides them free housing and everything?
No, it's not that they're going to provide them free housing, but let's say 500,000 people come to the city tomorrow. What's that going to do for the demand of housing?
It's gonna go up.
And what's going to happen to the price?
No, it's gonna go up too.
And a lot of people are saying they're going to leave because of Mamdani's.
My brother, what about cannabis?
I don't know a lot about cannabis, but
They've been leaving since COVID. New York's been decaying since 2020.
as much as like 10.
Even with New York being a sanctuary city and illegal immigrants coming into the city, New York is still declining.
But do you think Mamdani's policies are going to expedite that? More and more people leaving?
More and more people leaving? I don't know about that. But I think New York is still gonna be a decaying city. It's not gonna grow.
I think you're right about that. Unfortunately, 10% of New Yorkers said that they were going to leave if Mamdani won.
What about this?
So that's a lot of richer people that are going to get taxed out. They're going to raise taxes on the rich, but they already pay the most in taxes. So if they leave, who's he going to tax?
I don't think they're leaving. They can't leave.
I thought you just said they were leaving.
Well, people, not the rich. People are leaving, but not the rich. Where would the rich go? They need New York. That's how they're rich.
A lot of major firms have said that they're going to relocate to Texas and Florida and other states that are more hospitable to business. There's some second-order effects to these policies that people are concerned about. What are some of the policies that he's put out that you like the best?
I think what I like the best is that he's trying to make housing affordable for New Yorkers. As we know, living here is just extremely expensive. The wealth gap here is getting out of hand. And hopefully he'll just come in and control it and just give everyone a fair chance to just live here a normal life.
The main way he says he's going to do that is by freezing rents for rent-controlled apartments. Now, rent-controlled apartments are only 25% of the city's apartments. So what do you think is going to happen to the other 75% when landlords are being taxed more because they're the rich, right? What do you think is going to happen to the rents for the other 75% of New Yorkers with apartments?
Well, I do not understand a lot about the economics of it all, but my understanding might be that rents might go up for some people. I think it's their job to just find a way to make sure that the system is just even and it's just fair for everyone, including the landlords. Again, I don't know the mechanics of the politics that go behind it, but I think it might affect some landlords. Of course, I know that. They just have to find a way to help everyone involved, including the landlords.
The landlords, right? I mean, those are people that are investing in the city's buildings and trying to make it livable for people. But also, if they do that, they deserve to get a profit too, right?
Of course, they do deserve to get a profit, but I will say, obviously, landlords that are actually providing value for their tenants, that are there for their tenants, that are fixing the issues within the places where they live. So of course, I mean, they do deserve to get paid, and they should not be going through any rent freezes themselves, missing out on their payments.
Mamdani says he's going to tax the 1% or people making more than $1 million a year. What do you think those people are going to do when the taxes go up?
I'll be very honest with you. I know that most of these people are probably going to leave down to Florida because or any other tax-free state. I actually used to live there, and when things like that happen in blue cities, they can easily move. They have the resources, they have all the means to just escape these new policies. And I think that's the issue when all these people that create value for the big cities, they leave town. It can affect lower income people that rely on jobs or all kinds of things that these people create value for. So yeah, it
That's
does.
100%. Yeah, you said he didn't understand the economics of it. That was perfect what you just
Yeah,
said.
it does create a problem. So we should not be doing that in a way that creates this massive exodus of wealthy individuals, because if they all leave New York, Chicago, and LA, we're just gonna have like really poor cities with poor people and very little opportunity for growth and jobs.
Right, the jobs are going to leave, but also who's he going to tax when they leave? He's going to tax you or whoever's still left here, right? And so the middle class's taxes will go up. I wanted to ask you one more question about his policy on keeping New York a sanctuary city. He wants to keep ICE agents out of the city. What are your thoughts about that?
I don't really like to say much about immigration because it's a very heated topic.
It is, yeah.
But I think that what's going on right now it's just not a good look for the U.S. Everyone deserves to be treated with respect. I understand that if you come to this country, you have to follow the law and you have to come in here legally. That's totally understandable. But what I don't think should be happening is that they're, treating these people so aggressively and being like pulled out of court or things like that. I think New York is a city of immigrants and everyone is welcome here. So that's pretty much all I can say. New York will always be a city of immigrants,
Yeah, it definitely is. Do you think that ICE agents shouldn't be allowed to enforce our immigration laws in the city like Mamdani wants?
I think they should enforce it in a way that is not like disrupting the city or creating chaos. If that's what the federal government wants them to do, they should totally do it, but obviously respecting human rights. And they should only, in my opinion, go after people that have offenses, that are doing criminal activity, of course. That's all I can speak to it.
What about the people who they criminally crossed the border and came to our country illegally? Should they go after those people or no?
I feel like I should not be commenting on this, but all I can say is that everyone deserves a fair chance to the American dream, and my only hope is that the U.S. government will create pathways and better systems for people that don't have access to legal pathways to become Americans, so that people don't have to resort to these things such as crossing the border illegally or breaking the law. I mean, the law is the law, and I agree that everyone should follow the law. If you're coming to the U.S. via airplane, you gotta have a visa. If you go to Europe, you gotta have a passport or a visa in certain countries. So yes, you do have to respect the law in our country. So yeah, coming here, it should happen only legally. But I only hope that they expand more for anyone that wants to move here as well.
Well, one of the things he says he's going to do is keep New York a sanctuary city,
Right.
Meaning that illegal immigrants are safe from deportation here.
Right.
Do you support that?
I don't. I think anybody that has come here illegally should go back to country of origin, because there's people here currently in line waiting to get into the United States legally. And people shouldn't be able to just jump the border and basically skip the line, skip the due process to come into the United States. That's my view on it, personally.
Yeah, I think that's a great take. That's very smart. Well, he wants to keep ICE agents out so that they can't enforce immigration law. Okay, I was going to say,
I do support ICE. So.
You support ICE?
Yes, sir.
So are you kind of like a Trump guy?
A little bit.
All right, me too.
A little bit, yes.
Wow, I didn't think I'd find anybody like that in New York.
Word?
Yeah.
Nah, yeah, New York is what do they call it? A liberal cesspool.
It is.
Literally.
No, that's cool then. What do you think about socialism versus capitalism? Because Mamdani calls himself a socialist.
Right.
Do you think that socialism is going to work for New York?
A lot of people are saying it won't work due to how other countries and places have tried it before and it's had a negative effect. Like nothing positive has come out of it, so
right.
I don't know, but
yeah. So like
just hoping for the best, praying and hoping for the best. The city doesn't get fucked over.
Yeah, me too. I mean, one of the things he says he wants to do is like freeze rents.
Right.
So like just
honestly, I don't really know what that means too much. Freezing, what does that mean?
It means rent-controlled apartments, which
Right.
make up 25% of the city's
Isn't
apartments.
that what he lives in?
I think I believe he does.
Apartment, yeah.
But he's going to just basically say whatever they cost right now, landlords can't raise the prices.
Right.
So what is going to happen is the other 75% of apartments that are not rent frozen or rent controlled,
Right.
their prices are going to go up because landlords are going to be getting taxed more. He says he's going to raise taxes on people who make $1 million or more.
Right.
So
He's talking about the 1%, right?
yeah, the 1%, people who make more than $1 million. So now some people look at those people as villains, they demonize them, but in other words, they're the people who build the businesses and make all
Right.
the jobs for people and
Keep
stuff.
the city going.
Yeah. And if you raise taxes on them, then they're just going to leave.
Right. They'll go to another state.
You go to Florida or something like
Right,
that. Everyone's going to Florida.
I heard everybody, going to Florida.
They got low taxes in Florida. They got a free business
so basically,
environment.
he's just trying to impose higher taxes.
Because it sounds nice. You know, he's kind of like tricking the young people into
Right.
something that sounds good,
And
but
then the free stuff too, like it's cool and all that, but like how are we gonna pay for it? Like that stuff is gonna come out of taxes, isn't it? Right?
yeah. Well, who do you think? So if he raises the taxes on the rich and the
Right.
rich leave, who's he going to tax?
The minorities, the poor, everybody else.
Well, he's going to tax you or anybody that's still here.
Right.
So it's kind of like a snake eating its own tail, I guess.
Then never mind.
Never mind. Why?
I mean, based on the conversation in the t-shirt you're wearing, I just don't feel like engaging in a hostile conversation.
Well, hopefully not a hostile conversation, but like an interesting, maybe a debate or a discussion of ideas.
Sure.
So why do you support him?
Because I grew up in a place where I saw that when the government doesn't prioritize actually taking care of their constituents and rather catering to the needs of the most wealthy, it does nothing but make people poor, unhealthy, and uneducated. And I think Zohran really is prioritizing the needs of the people. He's focusing on public transportation, which makes it easier to get to places like work, get to places like picking your kids up from school. Just generally better for the life of every New Yorker. He's prioritizing mothers in making sure they're able to take care of their children through free daycares, which is something that consistently drains single-income households because childcare is so insanely expensive. And I think city-owned grocery stores are great because I personally have a lot of friends who are trying to decide whether they'll pay their rent or eat tonight. And so I think, you know, we want people fed, we want people educated, we want people to know that their children are safe.
Do you think that there's any second-order effects to some of his policies that might take shape if he's able to do them?
I mean, I think generally it'll probably make it to where more people are able to work and therefore are more able to provide for themselves and their families. I think it's really going to help revitalize the communities that actually build this city rather than the, you know, billionaires who own every building and charge us 3 times its worth to live there.
Okay, but some of those billionaires also create a lot of jobs in the city. They pay the most taxes in the city already. Is that true? I mean, do you think that that's true? Do we need the billionaires in a way?
I mean, in the way that like a flea needs a rat to live on, and that same plague is going to spread to everybody. I think all these billionaires are bluffing when they say that, oh, if Zohran wins, I'm going to pull all my business out of New York, because why would you do that? At the end of the day, we are still the economic center of the United States. We are still considered the meeting point for many of the biggest organizations in the world. I mean, that's why the UN comes here every year. I think that it's all just fear-mongering, and it's once again the wealthy trying to make us think that we depend on them, when actually there are so few of them and so many of us.
Okay, absolutely. I mean, so if they do leave, and a lot of them said that they were going to, and actually up to 10% of New Yorkers said that they're considering leaving now that he won. If that does happen, what do you think the ramifications could be?
Well, you're anti-Zohran. Are you going to leave?
I don't live here. I'm visiting my cousin.
Exactly. I think that that really says more about his points than anything else. Just the fact that he's a person who does not live here, does not pay taxes, does not experience life here, does not care about the community of people around him because he's not from here. And yet he thinks he can go around with a microphone and yell his fucking opinion at everybody as if he can actually have a goddamn opinion when he doesn't live here.
Well, I didn't do any of that. I'm here to talk to New Yorkers and see what their opinion is, which is what I'm doing with you.
But if you're
Why
not
is
from
that
here,
not-
how does it affect you?
I'm interested in politics, and Mamdani's a very interesting guy. He's got a lot of interesting policies that are not the norm around America. And I'm just talking to people why they support what he does. Is that okay?
I mean, I assume fundamentally, but again, you're going to like places and people, because I tried not to have this conversation with you because I knew I'd get heated, and yet Especially with the filming, it feels like it's just very, let me get a bunch of liberal people mad on camera so I can say, like, liberal owned or whatever.
Well, okay, but what did I say to get you mad?
Are you a member of the 1%?
No.
Why do you want them to keep winning?
I want a free market society, economy. I want capitalism to remain because it enables people to be able to build businesses, to determine their own destiny, and not have a centralized government-run economy that provably fails when that's tried. And communism, for the record, does kill. I mean, 100 million people in the 20th century alone died by starvation, forced labor, or executions in communist China, communist Russia, Cuba, Venezuela.
Zohran's not a communist. He's a democratic socialist. Okay. A lot of people like to lump communism and socialism together. They are fundamentally not the same thing.
What's the difference?
I believe the difference is that socialism generally caters to I think it's a lot less uniform in its just, no, this is what you get, this is what you get, this is what you get. It responds to the actual things that are happening in the world and is able to subsidize needs when things change. I think a great example of that is how much we fund the military in this country. Why? We have so many people who are not able to fucking feed themselves and are not able to work because they're disabled and they can't, access a work environment. And yet we just keep pumping money into the military that is actively kidnapping people. I think that a great example, yes, I think a great example of socialism is just the fact of, oh my God, what if we reallocated resources to where they actually needed to go rather than just, and it's not that, capitalism is whatever it's going to be. I agree with a free market, but Zohran's not saying that he's going to demolish capitalism. That's never been a part of his, plan. He still plans on having equitable taxes for all New Yorkers, and that's why he's changing the taxing for the 1%, because equitable taxes for all New Yorkers means you pay what you make, you pay what you're not worth. That sounds like money is the worth of a human being, which it isn't. And that's what I think the fundamental difference is between capitalism and socialism.
Well, between capitalism and socialism, I asked, what's the difference between communism and democratic socialism? Because, for instance, Karl Marx says that the end goal of socialism is communism. And most of the communist regimes that they started as socialists.
Democratic socialism, isn't it? It's its own separate individual thing that prioritizes democracy. It prioritizes all of the general kind of points of freedom in this country, whatever you want to call that, I think, which is equitable to all people from all backgrounds, the American dream is supposedly being able to build yourself up, and if that's what capitalism means, great. Why are people who are working their asses off still struggling when, there's people who can't even spend the amount of money they have in their lifetime?
Well, and it's interesting because I think the populist left and the populist right in this country right now have a lot of the same grievances. A lot of the things that you've said are people that support Trump have said the same things. They're concerned about affordability. They're concerned about the hollowing out of America, offshoring, corporations, chasing profits instead of serving the American people. I think that's an interesting parallel. You said, how is Mamdani infringing on the free market? For instance, he's going to freeze rents for rent-controlled apartments. What do you think is going to happen to non-rent controlled apartments that are 75% of the city's apartments? Are their prices going to go up?
I mean, at a certain point, if the prices go up and the building is... God, I don't know. I smoked half a joint and then you came and asked me about this conversation, and now I gotta go to work. But
well, I'm sorry. I'm generally not trying to piss anybody off. I'm interested in just people's opinions.
You're in the wrong part of town. This is like the hippie, educated, stoner artist capital of New York City. So if you're not looking to piss people off, you're not where you want to be right now. I've seen people with mics trying to talk about, and I'm, sorry that I got hostile in this conversation. I just care a lot. But I'm telling you, I've seen political interviewers get screamed at. So I'm trying to just let you know.
I've been screamed at before.